Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. You see the thumbnail. Today we're talking about the new general manager, Joe Schoen, who I like to call AKA Babyface Nelson. Joe Schoen, you have brought a smile to my face. As soon as you stepped in the building, you let it be known what the plan was going to be, and you didn't hesitate in doing that. Well, there was a hesitation in regards to James Bradbury, but that was not exactly your fault. James Bradbury played a part in that fumble of a situation, if you want to call it. But can't cry over spilled milk. We let the man walk and pay the millions to do so. Outside of that, he made the move deciding that Logan Ryan did not fit the scheme, and also allowed him to be released. And that opens up the door, for some of these younger guys, because this is, in fact, a rebuild. Giants fans, if you don't believe we're in a rebuild, you're delusional. But right now, we are absolutely in a rebuild. Now, Joe Schoen did say he wants to win and also rebuild, which is possible if you have realistic expectations on the number of wins this Giants team can have. Now, there are ranges in that. Some people think we can only win 4 to 5 games. Some people think 6 to 8 wins. I'm in that range. Some guys have 9, 10, or 11 wins. If that happens, hallelujah. But let's just hold our horses, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So when Joe Schoen got hired, he instantaneously improved the offensive line on paper. I'd said it on paper. If you look at the names that we have on the O-line, they are clearly better on paper than what we've had in the past 10 years. And we've been screaming for a offensive line for Eli Manning. We've been screaming for an offensive line for Daniel Jones as well. And now it looks like we have 2 staples on the edges with Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal. Now, we know that Andrew Thomas was a Gettleman pick who struggled his rookie year, but seemed to make some great strides after that. I only see him improving, and then now with the first round pick of Evan Neal, I think we're pretty much solidified at the tackle position. Now he also picked up Glowinski from Indianapolis, a guy with a lot of experience, older guy, but he got a 3-year deal, so we're expecting him to be the starter for a few years. Also, he addressed the offensive line in the draft, picking up the guard, swing tackle type Joshua Zudu out of North Carolina, and also picked up his buddy on the other side, guard McKeithen. Now, right now there's a battle at left guard between Shane Lemieux and Joshua Zudu, and eventually, sometime this season, I expect Joshua Zudu to be the starting left guard, beating out Shane Lemieux for that spot. Also, a pickup that Joe Schoen made was John Feliciano, our starting center, penciled in to be our starting center. Picked him up out of Buffalo, so he has experience with Dable's offense, experience with the verbiage, and experience with the scheme, and that's something that you do need. The only negative is that Feliciano played guard. This is his first year really playing the center position. He did have some snaps last season at center. Didn't look the greatest, but again, we have a guy that's familiar with the scheme and the verbiage, and hopefully he can bring that toughness to this position, toughness to the center position that we need. Unfortunately, Nick Gates, in my opinion, is not going to be able to play this year and may not ever play again. But well wishes and prayers of recovery for Nick Gates, because he was just shown to be a capable center and a good offensive lineman for the New York Giants. So best of luck to Nick Gates in his recovery, and I hope one day you can make it back to the field. Now, getting back to Joe Schoen, there was some controversy, obviously, with the hiring of Brian Daboll because of the whole Brian Flores mixed up phone call by Bill Belichick that seems to have subsided. And now we can go clearly into the next season without any kind of distractions regarding that situation. Not saying that it might not come up again, but right now it seems to be settled. Joe Schoen was the right pick. Babyface Nelson came in, swung that chopper around, got some guys out of here, brought some guys in, like a gangster does. Also, Joe Schoen clearly laid out his plan, for this team. He wants to build within the draft. He knows that it's a rebuild, but he also wants to win, and he stated so. He did not pick up the 5th-year option for Daniel Jones, making it another prove-it year for Daniel Jones. And if he doesn't do what they expect him to do, he walks. And then we're on the hunt for another quarterback. But being that he didn't pick up that 5th-year option, it just shows you that he's not tied down to Daniel Jones, because he should not be. Us as fans, we are split between who we think Daniel Jones is. A lot of us are hoping for the best, and that's all we can do. Some people already believe that he is the guy. A lot of people don't. And some people, or the majority of the people, are not sure. And we're going into year 4 here, people. I don't think we're going to waste any time with our expectations for Daniel Jones. But again, let me get back to Joe Schoen, because that is a whole different topic, and I could go on and on about Daniel Jones. Good, bad, and ugly. Now, Joe Schoen, again, I believe it was the correct hire. The man is young, but also experienced. He has almost 20 years of NFL experience, coming up from as a scout to now, running an organization. I think he has shown that he can grind from the floor and work his way to the penthouse, and he has done just that. And ultimately, we're hoping that with some success, John Mara will give this man the space to operate. Now, one thing that kind of shows me or indicates that John Mara is giving this man space is the demotion of John Mara's brother, Chris Mara, from the position that he held for years over the player personnel. Now we know that Joe Schoen is completely in control of the players coming in and out of the building. Of course, he's going to talk to his head coach about the guys that are coming in here, but ultimately it is his decision who is on the roster, or who he brings in to compete for roster spots, I should say. And I have the utmost confidence in Joe Schoen, because as of right now, he has not proven me otherwise. I like the pickups that he made, especially with the little bit of cap money that we had, actually building the cap money or creating the cap money out of nothing. Joe Schoen has shown that he has the ability to make things work, to make, how they say, lemonade out of lemons. And right now, I think we're in a good place. Next year, we're going to have upwards of $50 million in cap space. Obviously, I don't want to spend all of that, but it is just enough wiggle room to improve in positions that I think will be positions of need going into next year's offseason and draft. 2 of those positions being the center position and also cornerback. Now, again, I'm so excited that Joe Schoen is here. There's a new feeling in the building. Also, the addition of his assistant GM, Brandon Brown, who I hope we can get at least 2 years here before he gets his own GM job, because that man is going to be on a lot of people's short list for GMs in the upcoming years, if not next year. But again, I hope we get him for at least 2 years. Give us 2 drafts, Mr. Brandon Brown, please. We need that expertise in the building. It seems like you and Joe Schoen are doing wonders together and working together as a team, and I love it. But again, Giants fans, I hope you're excited about Joe Schoen. The man has a baby face, but has a pistol in his waist, and he's not afraid to shoot. So from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.